You guys are funny. What's up, everyone? It is I, Mike V. Welcome to the Tuesday Talk Q&A. Today is November 22nd, 2022. Guys are funny right there in the chat. Welcome, Mark. Welcome, Gamble the Globe. I was working on the bullet points for today's stream, and I kind of finished a little bit later than I wanted to, so I had to go and get my bathroom break done, and then rush back in and start the stream. But but yeah, I'm here. Only a couple minutes late, but it's all good. I'll go ahead and end the stream a couple minutes late, just for you guys. But hey, we got boozers as well in here. Welcome. Uh, Oh boy. But all right, we're going to go ahead and get started here. So we're going to talk about, I'll go ahead and show you guys the screen here. So I can bring up the chat. It should be working. Okay, there you go. There we go. Mark, do you prepare? Well, for this particular stream, yes, I do. I am preparing. The previous editions of this particular stream, I haven't really, because it's usually just me answering questions and then playing video poker. So, but this one's going to be different. I want to make sure I actually have a topic to discuss, and one that I've wanted to discuss for a long time now. Um, and then once I'm done with the discussion, we can go ahead and go with the Q&A, assuming we actually do have a few questions here. Yeah. And Boozers is looking forward to it. That's awesome. Yeah. So for those for those of you that might be have subscribed to my channel for a long time, maybe you've seen some of my old streams that I did from, say, 2019, when I played online poker from there. Yes, I have been to Costa Rica. We're going to have a discussion on it. And yeah, Mark mentioned, you mentioned to me before as well, that your wife has taken students over to Costa Rica. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and go through the list here. So we'll go ahead and actually bring up Google Maps. I have this so I can show you guys. So here's Costa Rica. For those of you who obviously aren't aware where it's located in the map, I assume most of you know. I actually measured it one time, and it's about 3,000 miles from where I live in the Bay Area. There's San Francisco. Hopefully you guys can see that on the screen, by the way, and so hopefully it's not too small for you. And there's Costa Rica. Where I have stayed primarily all three times that I visited was in the beach town of Jaco, which I'm zooming into right now. In the Central Pacific region, I have stayed in the north end, the south end, and in the center. So we're going to go ahead and discuss that. So let me go back to my list. So as it says right here, I've been there 3 times now, 3 times and counting. First visit was from April through July of 2018, a 90-day stay, and I stayed at Monterey condominiums. I'll show you where that is here. It's in the very southern end of town, right here on Calle Madrigal. There it is right here. I'll go ahead and bring up a photo, what it looks like. So yeah, this is what it looks like right here. So yeah, I was right on the bottom floor, right next to the pool, condo number 100. And so that was my very first visit. Pretty convenient. I could just walk out right here and into the pool. So that's where that's located. I'll discuss more as we go down the list, but we're going to go ahead and show you the 3 places so far. We're going in order. Next was for a short stay in May 2019. First time I actually booked it with Airbnb. We stayed at Jaco Park condominiums, right near the center of town. So we go up right here. It is is it here? It should be. Yeah, this is Hocko Park right here, this green area, and the condos start right. Yeah, right here, Hocko Park condominiums. This is a much older facility. Uh, at least I think it's an older facility, maybe not that much older. Um, and there is a pool. Actually, if I bring the satellite imagery here, you can see that it is gated. Actually, all these places I've been to are gated. There's a gated entrance, and there's a pool right over here. Decent, small, decent sized pool, bigger than the one at Monterey, but still relatively small. And convenience here is that you're in the you can just walk to almost everything. There is a small supermarket, the Mega Super, right here, so you don't have to walk too far to go get groceries. There's a KFC if you want a good old taste of home. I've God, the third trip I've ordered too much from there. I don't want to I don't want to do that again. But yeah, there is a KFC if you want it. It's right there. And Mark did say here, yeah, that Monterey was definitely, yeah, I wouldn't want to leave either. But as a tourist, you're there for 90 days, and then you have to go. So that was the second trip. We'll go ahead and go to the next one. This is the most recent one, last year, July 7th to October 4th, 2021. Another 90-day stay. This one is at Costa Linda condos. This one's in the north end. And yeah, Mark, every country has. There are more KFCs, I think, than there are McDonald's in Costa Rica. I think I remember actually counting them, at least from Google Maps anyway. But yeah. Costa Linda is right here at the north end, right at the near the north end of the main road, Pastor Diaz Avenue. So it's right here. It is a big complex of tall condo structures, like I think 7 of them. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 or 8. But yeah, I was in Tower 5, which is right here near the far end from the entrance. Entrance is right here. And it is a much bigger pool, and you can see right here, right in the center of the complex, and parking along the sides if you have a car. And so yeah, it's pretty big that you can stay within the condo complex and take your walks. I've seen people walking their dogs around. Oh, yeah, I'll go ahead and actually select it here. You can actually see a picture. Yeah, this one's a nice one. The pool especially. And yeah, all of these places that I'm showing you guys are, really close to the beach. Not beachside exactly, but 5-minute walk at the most. Boozers does ask me here. I'll go ahead and close this. Isn't there an expatriate? Well, Costa Rica has a lot of Americans, a lot of American expats, a lot of U.S. expats in Costa Rica. Probably, I think at the most on a per capita basis, especially when you realize that the population of Costa Rica as a whole is about 5 million people, and the land area of Costa Rica is about the same as West Virginia, for reference. All right, so yeah, I stayed. That was the most recent place I stayed for a full 90 days. And so yeah, we'll go to the next part. So what was my purpose of going? Well, there were a few. One is I wanted to do a solo travel for the first time. I haven't done that yet. Be able to live when I wanted to learn to live in a different country. I've done my research prior to this too, especially when I had the time to do so. Because back then, why didn't I do it earlier? Because I didn't have the savings needed to actually go into this big adventure. And then by the time I did, I went ahead and did it. I was able to do it multiple times since. So, and we'll get to the online poker portion, the second half of this, but that was another purpose as well. We'll discuss that pretty soon. So let's talk about some facts here. So the money, the official currency is the colon, the Costa Rican colon. Symbol is CRC. I'm actually going to show you guys I still have some actual paper currency from my last trip. I keep it with me because good chance I'm probably going to go back, and I can spend it while I'm there. So I do have a couple of bills, and I do have a coin. I'll go ahead and show the coin first. I'm going to go ahead and expand the screen here for you guys. Webcam only. Okay. So coins go anywhere between 10 to 500 colones. So here is the 500 coin. About 80 cents at current rates. Actually, yeah, it's the current exchange rate is about 600 something colones per dollar. So this is closer to a dollar than it is to 50 cents. And the coat of arms is in the back side. I'll go ahead and show it right there. And it says República de Costa Rica. And on the front it says, I think BCCR, Banco Central de Costa Rica, the central bank, right below, and then the denomination 500. And now for a couple of the banknotes that I have. As of the end of last year, Costa Rica has completely phased out their cotton notes, and now all of their notes now are the polymer type or the plastic type. And so here's a 2,000, 2,000 colones banknote. And here's the reverse. Got yourself what it looks like a shark or a whale, a starfish. And then one more I have here is the 5,000 colones, 5,000 colones. It's yellow in color. Worth about $8 something change, I believe. You can get a meal at KFC for yourself with this. And on the back side we got a monkey and a crab. Yeah, I wish to. Let me actually go back to this so I can show you this chat. Yeah, I wish so too. Lot of and the polymer, the plastic is, it doesn't break. It's much harder to break. While our paper notes, it's all bendy and all that stuff. And Gamble the Glove, I like this. It's an inflation joke. That's for our monies. Or no, maybe no. It's maybe you're saying in the future that we might have this too, or or is this an inflation joke that we're gonna start having a bunch of zeros in our notes? So the exchange rate is what, 600. It actually strengthened this the second half of this year for some reason. The Costa Rican colon actually weakened all the way to like 690 around the beginning of this year. It is re-strengthened. It was about 620 to 625 when I went back in 2021. And according to xe.com, it's now like 612. It actually strengthened a little bit. So about 6,200. Let's just say 6,200 colones is about $10. Careful there. You don't want to say that while in Costa Rica. You might get arrested. Right, yeah. But I don't even know if we'll be able to make that change in the United States, because the dollar is the world's reserve currency, and if you've probably heard this, but there are most of the $100 bills that exist are located outside the U.S. than inside. So, and with the demand for dollars worldwide, that would be you'd be the U.S. would be upsetting the world if they immediately try to demonetize the older notes. Well, I don't know. It may happen. And when the country trans changed over to these new notes, when I was there last time, they still had the cotton notes. They weren't paper; they were actually cotton, but they were the older style. They immediately phased out their highest denomination bill. They didn't make the 50,000 cologne note, which is like, I guess you could say it's the equivalent of our $100 bill, but it's about 80 something dollars rather. They phased that out. So the highest note they have right now is a 20,000, which is about like 30, 35, $36, $37, something like that. But yeah, okay. So that is the currency. U.S. dollars are widely accepted. Yeah, you can pay in dollars for most things. Just don't go to Walmart and to pay with dollars, because that was actually one of the first. When my driver picked me up from the airport, the very first trip, um, we had to get. He took me to get uh, groceries, and we went first to Walmart, and that's also where I got myself a burner Samsung phone so I could have a local phone number. So I went to Walmart to get that. Under $200 for an Android phone, so pretty good there. And yeah, so and then we got some cases of water bottles and some toilet paper, a few other stuff. We waited until we got to Hako before actually doing the actual groceries, because we don't, it's now over an hour drive. We don't want things to spoil, especially in the humidity of Costa Rica, because the Walmart was located near the airport in the San Jose area. So yeah, the the associates, the Walmart associates, were very picky with the dollars that they would accept if you're paying with dollar cash. Like if it had like a little rip, on the middle. You know how we fold our notes. Let me go ahead and put my. Let me go ahead and see if I have any dollar bill here that has a rip. One moment. Well, it doesn't look like I don't, but surprisingly, but yeah, $20 bill with a little rip, they won't take it at all. Even if it came directly from an ATM machine in the United States, they still won't take it. So yeah, they're very picky at the Walmart, but everywhere else in Hako especially, once you're in a place where tourists are commonly go, uh, dollars are widely accepted there, even at the grocery store. Um, yeah, then it's pretty much okay. Sounds like Walmart. uh, I'm pleasantly surprised though that the WalMarts in Costa Rica, they're kept really uh, clean and tidy, and the main grocery store chain in Hako, which is called Mas por Menos, which is stylized as Mas X or X Menos. There's an X, but we pronounce it Mas por Menos, more for less, obviously in Spanish. Um, they're owned by Walmart in Costa Rica. Their subsidiary of Walmart. So, and one thing I've noticed it there too is that the associates there, they when when they go by the aisles, they'll make everything neat and all and tidy. Because when I go to a grocery store or I go to a Walmart here, it's like everything's a mess. There, it's nice and tidy. All the stuff that's in the shelves. Only a little bit of Mike's. Only a little bit. And I'll show you later once we get to it an expired bank card, because I do have a bank account in the country, but I made sure to clean most of it during my last trip, and the card has expired since. So I'll be sure to show a little bit of that, but I'm going to cover most of the important stuff. You guys are joke. Guys are jokesters right now. But yeah, we'll get to poker soon. So U.S. dollar is widely accepted. Another interesting development that has started uh, less than a year ago now. I've been keeping up. I don't think I've told you guys yet, but I am very interested in what's going on with Bitcoin. So another fun fact I'll give to you guys: if you're in the beach towns of Dominical, Uvita, and Ojochal, located about an hour, 10 minutes or more south of Hako, they're apparently testing out a project known as Bitcoin Jungle, in which some businesses have been starting to accept Bitcoin for payment. So if you're in that region of Costa Rica, you can go ahead and give it a shot. We've got some Bitcoin to spend. So that's one of the projects that was inspired by the Bitcoin Beach project in El Salvador. So just a little fun fact right there. And one tidbit right here is to check to see if your bank charges currency conversion fees when using your debit card. So if you're an American and you're going to go spend money in Costa Rica, say you're on vacation for either short-term, long-term stay, whatever, um, be sure before you go check and you want to use your debit card. Be sure to check what currency conversion fees there are, if any. I'll give you an example with my bank. There are currency conversion fees if you use it when I use my debit card in a point of sale. So doing it direct with the direct purchase. Say you're purchasing groceries or delivery or whatever. But it doesn't charge a currency conversion fee when I use it at the ATM. So that's something that I know. The only fee that I pay when using the ATM is the typical out of network fee, which is $5 plus whatever the ATM is charging. A few extra dollars there, a couple extra dollars there. Um, so that's important to know. And there is an ATM immediately to the right the moment you enter the baggage claim area at the terminal in San Jose Airport in Costa Rica. That one's from BAC Credomatic Bank. That one's a good one. It works for my debit card anyway, and those ATMs actually dispense both colones and dollars. So you got your choice too. You can do the local currency or you can do dollars. All right. So that was information on the money. Now we got cost of living. So it depends on the item in question. Some things are going to be lower cost compared to the U.S. and others are going to be more expensive. So we'll go down the list here. Rent's pretty good, especially with a 5-minute walk to the beach. Or in the case of Con Monterey, it was like a 2-minute walk, like right next door. Um, this was my budget when searching for condos there. It was about $1,200 a month for a 2-bed, 2-bath condo. And in Hako, I've noticed that 2-bedroom and 1-bedroom apartments, especially in the off season, in the rainy season, tend to go for about the same price. So if you want that extra bed, if you got to get if you're bringing extra guests, go ahead and go for the 2-bed condo. And so yeah, you can probably also find better deals, and of course you can also lavish yourself with something more fancy. There are condos out there with like gyms included on like the ground floor. Those are going to be more expensive. Um, and tipping, it's not required. It's not a culture of tipping over in Costa Rica. The locals don't really do it. The only places that I understand that you should tip is the tourist guide / driver. So if you're, you know, on one of those turismo buses or vans, and you're heading to like Manuel Antonio National Park, you can tip the guide. Uh, and personally, I also tip my driver who takes me to and from the airport as well. He's the only person that I really tip when I'm there, and he also drives me with the he uses the Turismo van to drive me to and from the airport, and of course he handles my luggage, so it's fair that I give him a tip. But But in terms of everything else, like taxis, food, delivery, tipping is not required, and I've never been haggled for one. And that especially helps later on when I explain it with the cost of stuff. So let's go. Let's actually show right here taxis. Um, Now, for those who use Uber, or ride sharing, Uber is available, but you're most likely going to find it in the center of the country, near the big cities and suburbs of the San Jose area. You're most likely going to have Uber as an option, as well as the mainland China's equivalent. I think it's called Didi. You don't have that in the U.S. because a lot of Chinese stuff is because of the what is it national security reasons because they might spy on you, So, but yeah, a lot of Huawei products are found in China as well. I've seen commercials for Huawei on television in Costa Rica, uh, but it's something I've never seen in the U.S. But okay, let's get back to taxis here. Taxis from the north of the south end of town to say the center of town. I'd use Mas Pormenos because that's usually where I tend to go. Uh, I estimate based on my previous trips is around 1,500 colones, or about, let's say, $2.50, maybe slightly less. It was at the time. One direction. So whether you're going to there or from there, that's what I've found out. So pretty inexpensive, and that's another reason why I chose Hako specifically to go to when I visit, is because I don't need a car and I don't want to drive when I'm there. The roads are not in good condition. There's almost always construction, lots of potholes. So you don't really want to drive if you can avoid it. And Hako is a pretty walkable town. Most of the establishments are in just one road, right on the main street. Obviously, if you walk even a little bit, you're going to be sweating from the humidity. But at the very least, though, if you're carrying groceries, obviously you're going to need a taxi, and it's good to know that it's fairly inexpensive too. Low cost fresh fruits and seafood. Every town has a farmer's market, so you can go there. Even in the grocery store, they're still inexpensive as well. Seafood. Interesting story. During my first trip there, about the second half of my stay, there was always a guy who would knock on my door and offer to sell me fresh seafood. There's freshly caught seafood, and he had them right in front of me, and it's pretty inexpensive too. So you're gonna save a lot on seafood, especially right in a beach town right next to the ocean. Boozers asks, "Can I get him?" I don't think I've seen Miller Lite. I have during my first visit. I have uh, arranged to meet a couple actually who was an expat and poker player as well. I was able to arrange a meetup when I was there, and it was at a bar, so I knew what was there when I. But no, I have not seen Miller Lite. You're most like obviously you're going to see the national beer there. You're going to see, what was it? It's Imperial is the official beer of Costa Rica. That you're going to see billboards and and signs for Imperial all over the place in the country. Yeah, so yeah, Imperial is the official beer of Costa Rica. Um, Convenience. Okay, so this is what I mean by you don't have to worry about tipping, is because in Kako in particular, because I have experience with it, there are express delivery guys that will deliver pretty much anything to you. Food. There were two instances where I had to request a new iPhone charger because one the one I had with me stopped working during my stay last year, and And I had and the second thing was allergy 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 pills like a Claritin or whatever the equivalent that they had there. I had to request that as well. So they can. So if you have the phone number of a delivery guy, which I have the phone number of two of them. One of them gave me my business card um, when I ordered food delivery directly from the actual business itself. He gave me his business card. And the other one was recommended to me from elsewhere. So I have the phone numbers of two delivery guys, and if you're able to get to their phone number, you can then contact them on WhatsApp. That's another thing too. Everybody in Costa Rica uses WhatsApp for communication rather than regular text messages. So if you're going to be communicating with people, with locals there, you can make sure you have WhatsApp downloaded on your phone. And yeah, Gamma goes, I've heard that they will deliver almost any. Yeah, that's true. And yeah, so you can get your KFC delivered. Uh, you can get food from that Italian restaurant across the street from there. And and what else? Yeah, oh, and there are two places I will mention. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and go to my Google Maps right now. So I am aware of two places that you deliver directly if you they get the delivery guy directly for you if you just order from them directly. It's if you want pizza, you got yourself the pizza shop. I think it's right here. Yeah, this is the pizza shop. When I get pizza, it's almost always from there. And they speak English. You can call them or you can message them on WhatsApp. Actually, since the pandemic, they recently allowed the ability to order through WhatsApp, and then they contact a delivery guy to deliver it for them. The other one uh, that you can deliver one is Ridiculous Burgers. And yeah, the name Ridiculous Burgers is it really is. They're thick burgers. They have yeah, as you can see right here, even a single burger, pretty big. And they got the challenges where you get this monster burger right here. Eat our monster burger for and fries completely in 30 minutes, and it's free. Otherwise, it's 19,990 colones. Yeah, and Ridiculous Burgers actually has online ordering since the pandemic began. So in my third trip visiting, I was able to actually use their online ordering form. Very convenient too, which is on their official website. All right, let's see. We got some chat here. We got Gamble the Globe. There's for work. You deliver food to him and try to. Oh, I like weed. Go. A guy who brings pizza. And, okay. During my second visit, the short 3 week stay in the in the center of town at that Airbnb, twice I did get. Once was through hand motion, which I said no thanks. I refused by giving my own hand motion. And the second time was a couple of guys coming direct to me, offering weed, and I just politely said no thanks. So just so you know, you got to be careful, especially as a solo traveler. But yeah. Oh, OBS just disconnected and reconnected. Hopefully the stream is still good. Looks like it is. All right. Just let me know otherwise. All right, next thing. Okay, now this is for the more expensive stuff that you're most likely going to find. Imported items. Imported items are going to be more expensive. So, any food items that imported from the U.S. or like cereal, peanut butter, those are the ones I've heard that come to mind. So, Many of the stuff that are unhealthy to begin with. Yeah, yeah. The Spanish equivalent of Frosted Flakes, Zucaritas. You know, yeah, a lot of sugar. It's not. You don't want to have that. It's not healthy as much as you guys may or may not like Tony the Tiger, but um, yeah, that's what it's called in Latin America too, Zucaritas for Frosted Flakes. Automobiles, I've mentioned. Cars are probably going to be because they import duties are ridiculous for cars. You're going to be, which is why most locals will buy like 15, 20 year used car, and those are just as expensive as like a 3 year used car here in the U.S. The auto, automobiles are expensive. Gas is also going to be more expensive unless you're from California like I am, and this is based off of data from globalpetrolprices.com. Right now, actually, I looked this up just before the stream. Average price of gas for the U.S. right now is about $3.91, I think. For Costa Rica, it's about $4.90, so a dollar more. Here in California, at least right here in the Bay Area, right now, it's anywhere between the upper $5 to low $6 range. So right now, if you're from California, gas will probably be no issue. But if you're from anywhere else in the U.S., just realize you're probably going to pay a little bit more for gas especially if you're driving a car. And finally, the electric bill. If you're in a beach town like Hako, the humidity is going to be pretty important, pretty big, and the heat as well. It's going to be in the 80s all day and all night, 24/7. Yeah, every day it's 80 degrees all the time. It's 80 degrees, and it'll dip maybe to 79, 78 at night, maybe 76 when it's raining hard, and in the daytime it'll usually be 80, 81, up to 89 maybe during the dry season where it gets even hotter. um, but yeah, so you're gonna have that AC running a lot, and it depends too. I put here a range of $125 to $250 a month. So that depends. In Monterey, my first condo that I stayed in, it had the individual air conditioning units in each room that you have to manually turn on and turn off with a remote. Uh, those are pretty inefficient too, I've noticed, and they suck up a lot of electricity. And I was paying in the upper end for that, $250 a month on average. In my most recent stay in Costa Linda, they had central air conditioning, all in one unit, and it also helps that I think the square footage is a little bit smaller too for the unit size that I stayed in. Everything was a bit more compact, and I was also turning off the AC in many instances, like at night especially, because I didn't feel like I needed the insulation was pretty good, keeping the cool air in. So for Costa Linda, my most recent trip, I paid only about 125 a month, which was pretty good. All right, just reading the chat here. $391 was the amount according to the average for the U.S. Obviously, Texas is going to be cheaper. It's always cheaper in Texas. Because I've looked it up on GasBuddy.com as well. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you guys are spoiled over there. And your electric bill would be insane, huh? Yeah. All right. So I think I have. I've gone through everything about cost of living, the money, living. I think I've mentioned. Yeah, I've mentioned everything in the bullet point list with regards to that. So now we're on the part of online poker relocation. Okay. So my first visit in 2018, I'll show you at the very end here. I used a relocation service. I'll go ahead and show you, explain more about it when we get to that. You still have a California friend in Texas. Yeah, I know. I've seen the data. Everybody is most of the people who moved to Texas the past decade were from California, and yes, there are at least two Facebook accounts that I'm aware of where they've moved to Texas. Two women actually. One to Austin, one to Houston in my Facebook friends list. All right. So now we're going to discuss online poker relocation. So the context for this. So if you remember what happened in 2011, Black Friday, the government shutting down the biggest online poker sites at the time. So many of the pro players decided to move abroad. Some went up north to Canada. Some went down to Latin America, Mexico. Some went to Europe, usually the UK or Malta or Ireland. Usually the top choices there in Europe. Some went to Costa Rica. Some went to Panama. And so, and I figured since I was going to make the travel anyway, I wanted to go. I was like, well, why don't I do this as well? Since I'm going to be there anyway. I've always wanted to go back and playing on a site that I haven't played on for so long, and actually be able to play in on a site that's very trustworthy. I guess you could say that has the that has the reputation. When you're stuck with some some of the less proven sites, especially at the time. Even in 2018, it was still an issue. Um, so I said, oh, why not? I'll go through it. I've got the money for it. So the first thing is to choose a country that you'd like to play to be able to play. So let me actually go back to the web camera briefly. I want to actually bring up a map that I made. Where is it? And this was updated as of July of this year, and I don't think anything has changed since then. I made this using a custom map maker. All right, I'll go ahead and bring it back here. All right, we'll go ahead. I'll zoom in once I continue talking about it. All right, so what do we got here? All right. So this map I've made is the availability of PokerStars around the world. This is updated as of July of 2022. So if you want to play on PokerStars, specifically, this is specifically only for PokerStars. Other sites may have different country requirements. So any country listed in green, any landmass listed in green, you can play on the global version of PokerStars, PokerStars.com or PokerStars.eu, or a locally licensed version that connects to the global player pool. So as you can see here, most of Latin America is a fair game except for Colombia. So any country in green. Most of Canada, the British Isles, Central and Eastern Europe, some parts of Central Asia, Southeast Asia, few minor countries in Africa, and New Zealand, and some Caribbean countries as well, it seems. So basically, you need to me to be with you when you come visit California. All right. Okay, so that's the countries in green. Permitted jurisdictions, full access to PokerStars global player pool. The blue is what is called the European Shared Liquidity player pool. So these are countries that used to have segregated player pools where players can only play against other people and their players, but then they've since merged. So there are 3 countries here: France, Spain, and Portugal. It's a completely separate website from the ones that anybody in green can access. And players outside of these countries, players in the green, can also have an account and play with those that are in the blue through PokerStars' license in Spain. I actually do have a PokerStars.es account as well that I set up back in 2018. And I have played on this site as well. Yellow is the Italian segregated player pool, accessible on PokerStars.it. That is Italy only. So residents of Italy can only play against other residents of Italy. Indian segregated player pool, that's for the country of India, but not every country in India, every state in India has access to it. Some it's illegal, so PokerStars forbids those who are residents of those Indian states. And then this is the most recent one as of June 28th of this year. Ontario split off from the global player pool and now has their own separate one. That's why the province of Ontario in Canada is highlighted here in pink. And then purple is U.S. states with segregated player pools. Yeah, I've mentioned this before already, but New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, PokerStars is available, but only to those in those states and and only to play against other players in those states. So you don't have that many players. So and then red is real money games prohibited, play money games available. So the United States, Colombia, what is it? Cyprus, Serbia, Macedonia, Egypt, Nigeria, China, Pakistan, Malaysia, Taiwan, Australia. So those countries, you cannot play for real money, but you can play for play money on PokerStars. And finally, gray is prohibited jurisdiction, all games unavailable, even play money you can't play on. And notice here, Washington State is highlighted. It's because of their horrible laws on online gambling that they have that even play money, even PokerStars won't even allow play money play from within the state of Washington. actually, Mark, prior to a year ago, actually, Antarctica was listed as a permitted jurisdiction, and I for both real and play money play. And I have seen back then someone with an account registered to Antarctica. You could select it back then. Somebody playing um, at a table, but yeah, that was removed as of last year. Also, another country that was available for both real and plenty money back then was this little island, I think, right here in the middle of the South Atlantic called Bouvet Island, which is a territory. It's a small icy rock in the in the middle of the South Atlantic Ocean near Antarctica, under the sovereignty of Norway. You know, completely opposite side of the world from Norway. Norway being up here, Bouvet Island, Bouvet Island. And I saw two people on PokerStars registered to that country. It's kind of funny, but now it's no longer possible for them to play, even if it was for play money. And what's so funny is that I know it's fake that they can't live on Bouvet Island because population is zero. It's just an icy rock in the middle of the ocean. For some reason, Norway has sovereignty over it. And yeah, yeah, it is too funny. Yeah, actually, people set up accounts like that. It's so funny. All right, so that's the map. So if you're going to be going through the relocation process, ideally you want a country that is green if you're going to be playing on PokerStars. Costa Rica is one of them, and that's one I've chosen. You can choose Mexico as well. All right, let's go back to this here. So next, the minimum documentation that you're going to need. So the first one's going to be very easy. A government-issued ID. Any ID works, even your U.S. passport. So that's easy. That's easy because you pretty much need your U.S. passport if you're going to be traveling anyway. So that's the easiest one to get. And that's pretty much if you want for the site to make sure you are over the age of 18. So you're of legal age to play on the site, and that you say who you are. It's you who is playing, and you're not using somebody else's ID that they've already used. For example, they want to make sure it's actually you. And then the second thing you're going to need is typically a utility bill. It can be an electric bill. It can be a water bill, and or a bank statement. Bank statement is not usually that common. Usually, the utility bill is going to be enough. And so those are the two minimum requirements you're usually going to need: is a utility bill and your ID. And a helpful item, when I went through the process, I actually sent this as well: a copy of the signed rental agreement. That is a strong indication for them that you've actually have that you have done the relocation. The good news is you do not need official legal residency in the country. You could do this completely as a tourist, um, and which is why it's important you choose your country appropriately, because you want to make sure you go to a place that allows you to stay for a decent amount of time as a tourist. Costa Rica, it's 90 days. Mexico, it's as much as 180 days. I think Canada as well, it's about 6 months. Um, uh, the UK is 6 months as well. The Schengen area of the European Union is 90 days per 180. Um, Panama, I believe, is 180 days as well. So you want to go to a country that allows you to stay as a tourist for a decent amount of time, at least 3 months, at least 90 days, so you have enough time for to make it seem okay. Yeah, you're there long enough. You can't use a hotel stay. You can't do it with a 1 week stay at a resort, because you're not going to have that utility bill. All right, next is, while those two items, plus maybe the rental agreement, it will be enough to unlock your site, unlock your account and change the register country on your PokerStars account. You're still going to need a way to get money in and out of the site. So another thing you're going to need is a method to deposit / withdraw from the site. So the easiest way is with e-wallets, Skrill, NetTeller, EcoPays. Some countries you can do much better. What's another one? PaySafe card. There's a few others. And if you're in the UK, you can even use PayPal in some European countries. A local bank account with a debit card, Visa or MasterCard, it would be another option as well. The bank account would be useful, especially for withdrawals of large sums, especially if you're going to be able to get a decent bank account. But e-wallets such as Skrill allow you to hold quite a bit of funds as well. So if you're not a real high stakes player, you're pretty much fine with the e-wallets. Obviously, having a local bank account certainly helps, and I actually do have one. I don't keep that much in it, because the purpose is pretty much just for the for my for the just to have cash that I can withdraw from the bank, from the ATM, for my stay. That's another thing too about banks in Costa Rica. I'll add that in as well. Let me go ahead and actually show you a little what just as proof here. I still have it with me. It recently expired last May, so when I go back, I'm gonna have to decide if I want to renew the debit card. But this is what it looks like. BCR, Banco de Costa Rica. It's a Visa debit card, and it actually has not only the debit card number, but also the the international bank account number, the IBAN number, as well as is listed on here, which is quite funny. So if you want to ever send me a wire transfer, I could just show you this information right here. And send me an international wire to my Costa Rica bank account. All right. Candle to globe. Or maybe those 8 people are in fact penguins. maybe the person behind the Antarctica registered account is a penguin. Or like how a person from Costa Rica is actually a white-faced monkey. One of those monkeys from Manuel Antonio National Park. A story from one of the tour guides said that one of the monkeys actually took a person's phone, actually took a selfie with it. They're smart creatures. You got to be careful. Don't if you're gonna be at Manuel Antonio, don't don't leave your stuff unattended. The monkeys will go after it. All right. So I use Skrill primarily to deposit and withdraw from PokerStars in particular. Very fast, usually almost like within 2 minutes after requesting the withdrawal, it's usually sent immediately by PokerStars. Oh, all right. Look, for some reason YouTube doesn't like your comment there, Mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and show it. All right, and finally, if this seems very convoluted, difficult, and prone to mistakes, this is what I've done. Is when I went through this process, I actually, if you have the money for it, use a relocation service to help you along the way. I'm gonna actually go ahead and bring up the website for it. One moment. Wow, we're already at the top of the hour too. We're gonna go have a nice long stream, it seems. All right. But once we're done here, almost soon anyway. So, okay, what was it? PokerRefugees.com. Here it is. So this is Poker Refugees. Been around since 2011. Ever since the crackdown on online poker on Black Friday. So someone with with some friends in the online poker industry, who was in Costa Rica at the time. Actually, the person in question here running the site, was in Costa Rica for most of the previous decade at the time, from like 2003 to 2011, 2012, etc. She set this up, and you can use her services. If you go to the contact right here, is run by, wow, it's taking a while here. Yeah, Mark, it is. Yeah, whenever there's an opportunity for a business out there, and very convenient as well, has some connections to the online poker industry, as well as is a registered realtor and has done business before. All right, let me refresh the page here. Actually, never mind. Well, actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my main screen here. What I'm going to do is actually show you guys, actually, YouTube. Let me look for the person in question here has a YouTube channel. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't.
Things are still real.
So this is Kristen Wilson, who runs the Relocation company, and at the time when I was requesting my her services for the first time in 2018, she was in Japan. Obviously, she's a digital nomad, able to work from home. And at the time, she just started a Facebook page called Badass Digital Nomads. And she also recently started her YouTube channel called Traveling with Kristen. And she also has since also started a podcast also called Badass Digital Nomads. So she's got Facebook page, a podcast, a YouTube channel, very successful YouTube channel as well. I'm going to show it right now. This is the woman who helped me with my relocation, Kristen Wilson. She's got 140,000 subscribers now. So yeah, I actually know her, and she obviously knows me for doing my relocation in 2018, as well as in 2021 during my third trip. I requested her services again as a repeat customer. So there you go. If you want to know anything about uh, traveling abroad, working abroad, obviously she's just started since the pandemic to go to leave the U.S. again. She just went to Istanbul, Turkey, and Amsterdam in the Netherlands. You can go ahead and check that out. And I'll most likely probably be contacting her again when I make another trip there. So there you go. All right. I don't have anything else to say. Does anybody have any questions? I know it's been over an hour, but I can still take questions. Well, let me take a drink too in the meantime. It's probably a lot more that I hadn't remembered. That I might have forgotten, but I don't have the thought of it just now. Hey, Boozers ask, when are you going again? Depending on, I am building up a budget for it right now. I'd like to go again this coming spring. We will see. I tend to organize my visits in a way that coincides with major promotions in online poker. May is when the PokerStars has the spring championship of online poker, and September is when they have the world championship of online poker. So that's why I'm hoping for a visit that includes at least the month of May. I can't hold a globe. And yeah, Boozers, here's the thing. I did stream the first two visits. At the time, I didn't have that many subscribers. Um, and both of those times I was using a heads-up display to help me. One of those third-party software heads-up displays, and I didn't really do so well. And you can find those. You can still find those videos on my channel. If I think I have it in my playlist on complete online poker streams. You can scroll through that list. As for my third visit, I did not do any streaming. I wish I did, but it's kind of funny when you don't stream, you actually do better in the game. my third visit, I did though keep every single hand history during those 3 months I was there last year, and I also recorded. I screen captured. I recorded some of my play as well. I haven't released it yet to YouTube. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm gonna probably go through a few and maybe do an analysis, a live analysis on it, like what more than a year later, discuss my thoughts and everything with it. So I still have those videos, and I have to decide how I'm going to present them, if I want to present them. That is, and which I do, and I do because I want to do some new tutorial videos specifically on poker, Texas Hold'em in general, as well as go through my own play. Yeah, I did record. Let's see, a 45 player sit and go, a cash game. So I've got some good content I could give you guys. So hopefully you can look forward to that. I gotta have the. I have to, it's in the back of the list. I'm gonna have to hopefully get there as soon as possible, but it's been something I want to do though. Okay. Any more questions? Otherwise, we can wrap it up. Let me actually go to this screen here. As always, let me remind you guys. Pinned to the top of the comments in the description, as well as now on the screen right here, is a link to the Discord server. Be sure to join if you haven't done so yet. Let me see. Appreciate it, Gamble the Globe. Obviously, Mark, you mentioned as well that you don't have anything, but glad to know you enjoyed it. Let me check the stream. That was what I was going to do. I just want to check and see on YouTube Studio here. What do we have? Analytics. Okay, so it's pretty much for the most part just the three of you guys. Just wanted to check here. And Gamble the Globe. Oh yeah, the stream for the Thursday. Yeah. I believe you already registered. Gamble the Globe. I did look at the lobby. Obviously last week as well as recently. You're registered in it already, as well as another person. So as for me, I'm not sure. It is Thanksgiving Day. Obviously, if anybody wants to play, you're more than welcome to. As long as at least 2 people are registered, the game will go on. And there's currently 2 registered already. Gamble the Globe, you are one of them, I believe. And yeah, yeah, yeah. Word will get out hopefully, but let me also mention that too. The craps tutorial series, that's not getting a lot of love right now. It's been stagnant now with the views. I think every single uh, video of the 9-part series is pretty much just stuck on whatever it was like last month. So YouTube doesn't like my thumbnails, maybe, I don't know. but yeah. Yeah, that was true. You were, yeah, I think I noticed you were at a different table than I was because we were divided into two, and I noticed, oh, one person got knocked out, and I checked it. I checked the just as we got close to break, and like, oh, it's Camel the Globe. Okay, so Boozer says possible, not sure yet. So as for Thursday's tournament, it's available to play if you want to. I'm not sure if I'm going to or anybody in the family is going to. It is Thanksgiving. We'll usually, if history is any indication, we usually have our Thanksgiving turkey in the early afternoon. The tournament's at night. We might, if anything, most of us is probably going to. If we do play poker, it's going to be probably a physical game, as we usually do with the holidays when my uncle comes and visits. We play a $5 tournament. The 5 of us in the family? Yeah, it's 5 of us in the family. We usually play a $5 tournament. Winner takes all. Physical cards, physical chips, and of course, being that it's Thanksgiving Thursday, there's going to be football on, so that's going to be on TV. So a good chance I'm probably not going to make it. Certainly, probably won't be streaming it, even if I do. But who knows? It's not out of the ballpark. Maybe nobody wants to play for money, and maybe I say, hey, why don't we do the tournament? You know, so we'll see. Oh, 2 pair and 4 to a flush. Yeah, got sucked out right there. Okay, yeah, you might unregister. So yeah, if there's nobody registered by the time it starts, or just one, it'll automatically cancel. Oh, hey, I haven't looked at the comment section yet on the video. I did keep touch of the views every once in a while. Actually, I can go ahead and check right now. 77 views it says on my end so far. That's pretty good. And let me actually see any. Oh, subscribers have gone up too just now. It was at what? It was at 4847 or 48 earlier. Now it's 4850. It finally reached 4850. And it was, I think, 4841 yesterday. So I am gaining some subscribers. And actually, compare because of this has been a slow November. That's actually pretty good for the month so far. Yeah, it's pretty much the same everywhere. I think. If it's for you, it's probably for me too. The past month in general, especially. But okay, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, unless there's any more questions or interesting comments. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead. If you haven't done so yet, be sure to hit that like button. If you're brand new to the channel, if you're just coming from Mark's interview with me, be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell icon to be notified for the next video and or stream. Share this video. Got someone who is interested in Costa Rica? You can go ahead and even if you're not a gambler or a poker player, some of the information here is going to be pretty valuable for you guys. You know, where I stayed, information about money. That's another thing too. Another fun fact is that if you want to know if you should spend dollars or colones, the local currency, I've noticed that some what do you call them? Some shops, antique shops, or what do you call it? Yeah, where you buy souvenir shops. Souvenir shops. I noticed during there was a 2 week period where my parents came to visit me during my first visit to Costa Rica. I was staying from April to July. They came for a couple weeks in June, right in the middle of my stay, and they we went to souvenir shops. We did some just looking around, see if they wanted something, and some shops had prices in the local currency, colones, and one of them had it in dollars, and they showed an exchange rate that was actually bad for the local currency. So I guess it just matters, you know, if it's priced in colones, pay in colones. If it's priced in dollars, then you should pay in dollars. Various certain tickets for tours tend to also be priced in dollars as well. And so since they're going to charge your card in dollars, then it's probably safe to you don't want to have to deal with currency conversion fees on your card if you use it. So that's another fun fact as well. Mark says, have a good Thanksgiving, everyone, and appreciate the promotion after the holidays. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Good night. See you, boozers. All right. So I went through the spiel. We're going to go ahead and end it. Thank you very much. Yeah, and most likely we'll see you next week for next week's stream. Be sure to, as always, join the Discord server. It's on the screen right now in the upper right corner. It's on the top of the chat, pinned to the chat, and should also be in the description below. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good weekend, and go make it happen.